Hi Sodbusters. In a previous video, I had prepared the green hive for doing a split inside of the hive. I'll put a link to that video right up here in case you didn't see that. So you can check that out first, and then we'll finish up the process today. Let's get into it. The Layens hive has 3 entrances on the front. And to prepare for this, I've opened up all 3 entrances. The colony was moved to the middle of the hive, and they've been using the center entrance. Today I'm going to be taking that colony, moving half one way, half the other, and then closing off the middle entrance. So any forager bees that have been using that middle entrance will now have to decide to go either right or left, and it's the same distance to either one. So hopefully about half of the foragers will go to one colony, about half will go to the other, and we won't have one half of the split losing all of its foragers for a period of time. So right now I have the colony on 8 frames, which gives me the ability to split those in half, put 4 one way, 4 the other, add a couple more frames on each side, and job done. So let's split it apart. Once I do, I'll go ahead and look at the frames in each side, make sure that each side has young brood or eggs so that we can ensure that the colony that doesn't have the queen is going to make their own queen. We have our partition boards here, which is what helps us to manage the space the bees have available to them inside of the hive. Now the partition boards do have a gap at the bottom. The bees can go underneath. By being able to explore that empty space, supposedly that suppresses some of the bees' swarming instinct, because they know that there's available space real close if they were to outgrow the space inside of the hive. In any case, I have not had any problem with the bees going underneath that divider and building comb in the open areas. Not that it couldn't happen, but I have not seen it. I guess we'll just move these one at a time, give us a chance to glance at them, and that'll be easier than trying to push all 4 frames that the bees have covered in propolis. And doing this, I don't have to know where my queen is, but I'd kind of like to spot her just so I have more knowledge about which colony I need to watch for making their own queen. They have nectar and bee bread in here, but no brood. So my queen, I don't see her, and she's not likely on that frame. She would more likely be towards the inside. I'll pull this out and look at the dark side. And by dark side, I just mean the side that's not yet exposed to the light, not necessarily darker comb. And they got more nectar and bee bread on this one. If we don't have good brood on this next frame, I may have to shift some frames around to make sure that they do have brood. And as you can see, the tops of these Layens frames touch. And a little tip to those who use the Layens frames is that as you're putting them in, when you just try to slide them, bees will tend to get in between, so you have to wait or try to get the bees out of the way. But if you can push the frame in vertically, then the bees kind of have to decide, are they going up or down, and they kind of get out of the way. Now this frame is really bumped out on the top for honey, so I wouldn't be able to put it in vertically like that as easily. I see my queen. There she is. They've got brood there. I'm going to be real careful with this, but I want to see it. Well, I don't need to see if they have young brood because the queen is there. So there, queen went that way. And they've got good brood on this side of the frame, so they're in good shape there. So now we'll take these frames, and actually before I start moving those, I'm going to take a divider board. Ow. Get a splinter off of it. I am going to add a couple more frames here, but for now I just wanted to partition that off as I'm working on the other side. And maybe I'll come back over there and mark my queen too. We've got bee bread in there, nectar. Nectar on this side. Okay, so here we have a lot of brood, but I want to see if we have brood with eggs. I want to show you how much brood we have, how much capped brood there is on this frame. So lots of bees getting ready to hatch out there. Okay, I'm not seeing any eggs on this one. Okay, I am seeing eggs at the bottom of this one, so they should be in good shape to make themselves a queen. Same story on this side. I'm seeing a few eggs over here. So I think they should be in good shape, and we'll check back in about 10 days and see if they have made a queen cell. Give them a couple more frames to build on. This is my queen. Oh, sorry bees. Almost squished them. They aren't too happy about being opened up twice, I guess. She was on this frame right here. Maybe we'll still catch her there. I'll glance on this side. Just looks like a bunch of calm bees working. This frame's all kind of bumped out. I'm curious to see what's going on here. Nothing major, I guess, just some drone brood. Do not see any queen cups, so they doesn't look like they're getting ready to swarm. This is our frame that had our queen just a second ago. Maybe you can spot her. She was on that other side, but I thought maybe she went to this dark side. So I looked here first. There she is. She is possibly trying to sneak her way around. And there she went over to the other side. All right. Let's see if I can. Got her by the wings. Get her by the legs. Oh. And some might be wondering if the queen can't sting, and she can, but they normally don't. And they don't have a barbed stinger like the worker bees do. So the queen can sting multiple times if she were to sting, but they normally reserve that for other queens, rival queens, I should say. So there we go. Got our queen marked. See if you can see her with the white dot crawling around on there. Now we'll put them all back together. This frame I can't slide in vertically because they've got that comb built out so much. So you just got to try to push the bees out of the way. Get down there. There we go. Couple more frames. Put our divider in place. And there we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and close up the front entrance, and then I'm going to put a solid divider right down the middle to keep the bees from one colony trying to go over and rob the other once they have their own identities. For now, they all smell the same. One of these colonies wouldn't bother the other, but before too long, each colony will develop its own pheromone scent, and they'll be able to recognize the difference between the bees from one colony and the other. So like I said earlier, we'll come back in about 10 days. We're going to check out this colony and make sure that they have made emergency queen cells. If they haven't, then we will have to take steps to get a new queen for them. But I've never had a problem with my colonies requeening. I know that things can go wrong with that, but I've been lucky about that so far. So that's all there is really to this process. Now I will close up this middle entrance. The bees will have to decide, are they going to go right or left? Each colony will inherit some of those forager bees, and they should both be able to keep going on their own. If you have any questions about the split process or any comments, please go ahead and leave a comment below. Otherwise, if you've enjoyed this video, found it interesting, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any other videos. And while you're on your way out, you might check out this video that Google really thinks you'll like, and check out this playlist to see my other beekeeping videos. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time.